Well, we are going to shift gears and make rounds today. We're going to talk about something that happened in the air. This image of a fat man on a flight was recently posted on an aviation blog, reportedly taken by an American Airlines flight attendant to illustrate the difficulty of dealing with passengers who don't fit into their seats. The carrier has issued a statement saying, at this time, American Airlines is unable to confirm whether or not the image referred to was taken by a member of the flight crew, but will investigate the situation internally to determine if any of the airline's strict policies were not correctly applied. Several airlines currently have policies, some requiring obese patients to buy 2 seats if they can't fit into one, sometimes requiring people to upgrade to business or first class. Joining me now to make rounds, Charles Leoka. He is the director of the Consumer Travel Alliance, and Kate Hanni. She is spokesperson and founder of flyersrights.org. Thanks to both of you. Kate, let me start with you. Are we looking at a situation of not asking, I guess, is it discrimination against the obese, or is it, frankly, not asking enough of obese patients to, frankly, buy the kind of seat that they can fit into?
Well, of course, we advocate for every passenger, but I have to say that with 64% of the American people being diagnosed as morbidly obese, we've got a real problem in that there is no bright line standard to help that decision be made. And for most obese people, and I'm someone that lost 100 pounds at one point in my life, I can tell you it's very awkward for them to show up and not have a clear standard by which they are either told or at the point of purchase told that they need to purchase a second ticket. I know on Southwest Airlines it's very clear, but with the other airlines we get these complaints all the time.
Charles, it was interesting. I saw online a comment from a blogger who said, the airline seat is usually 17.5 inches wide. My keyboard is 18 inches. It raises a good point of whether people should be asked about body size before they purchase a ticket, doesn't it?
Well, it does. And just incidentally, I am the blogger that actually posted that picture at first, way back on November 11th. And it did indeed come from a flight attendant, and it was on an American Airlines flight. And American Airlines followed all of their correct procedures. They moved the one passenger that was sitting next to him into another seat, and the flight took off, and there were no more incidences. So it was something which happened, you know, without a problem.
So the man...
Well, that's interesting, because there was, in the photo, which I looked at again this morning, there's actually 2 passengers next to him in that 3-seat row, and he was clogging the entire aisle. And the Department of Transportation has very strict safety requirements by which they need to ensure that people can exit an aircraft in case of emergency in 90 seconds. And I guarantee you that that is a safety issue, that he was seated there and blocking the aisle.
You know, Kate, you're absolutely correct. But this picture was taken before they closed the door of the aircraft. The flight attendant in the rear of the aircraft went up to the front, spoke with the gate agent, and then they came back and they made other arrangements and seated the person properly.
But it does raise the question, if you're a flight attendant and you know you have a packed or oversold flight, and a morbidly obese patient gets on, a traveler, and can't fit, what right do you have to bump somebody? And frankly, what right do you have to charge a surcharge because extra fuel? We certainly do it for luggage.
Listen, a flight attendant can ask you to leave for nothing more than they perceive you are a risk. They've asked a woman with an 18-month-old baby that was saying bye-bye plane to get off a plane with her infant because she perceived the mother as a risk because the mother didn't want to drug the child and stop the child from talking. They have the right to make a subjective determination for every passenger safety, and that includes the person who's obese. And when I saw that photo, I was in heart failure because that presented not only a risk to the obese person, also to everyone else sitting next to that obese person who was not going to be able to exit that aisle in an emergency very quickly.
We certainly seem to be
flight attendant.
Well, we certainly seem to be at a perfect storm. We're getting fatter, the seats aren't getting bigger, the airlines are dealing with fuel charges. I mean, this is going to be an ongoing problem. Charles Leoka.
And the airlines are they're shrinking the seats too. They've been shrinking seat size.
Right.
That's right.
Well, the seats aren't really shrinking in terms of width. The width has been about the same. They try to put more people together.
We're getting bigger. Charles and Kate, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
You bet.